Welcome to the Dragan Debate. I am Matt the Dragon. I haven't done this in a few months, so bringing it back here. I got a guest. We're going to continue doing this together.
My name is Moo.
We're going to be discussing important issues in the world and important issues that we think that you should just think about, discuss, debate. No. First one is going to be about the radiation spills throughout the world. Obviously, we all know about Japan's issues right now, and obviously like Ukraine in the past. But there's more issues in the world than just those, and we're going to discuss that. But first, we're going to discuss how the nuclear reactor works and why nuclear has been so prominently used throughout the world.
I've read a couple articles, documents, and watched a couple videos, and I'm not an expert on it or anything, but basically they take fuel rods filled with uranium and plutonium, and they stick them in a containment chamber with regular water they call heavy water, and it causes a fission reaction which creates heat and heats the water to over 500 degrees, and then they pump new water in that's been filtered through the cycle, and the hot water is filtered into a diffuser which causes it to turn into steam, which turns a turbine, creating energy, and that radioactive water actually gets recycled back into the containment chamber. Now, I think it's been really popular because it's considered cleaner than coal.
A lot cleaner than coal, definitely. That is prominent, and way more renewable than coal.
It's more renewable, and unlike wind energy and solar energy, it's a constant energy.
Constant flow. Wind doesn't move at all times, and sun sets.
Yeah. But there are some serious consequences and side effects to it. It's a very big
imprint.
For or against.
Definitely the carbon imprint is definitely there, though. But is it a better alternative than coal?
I don't think so.
I don't think it's better.
I am completely against it.
But coal is just as bad about polluting the world, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. It might be a little bit better than coal, but I don't think it's our answer.
Like you go over to a city like Decatur, Illinois. Have you ever been there?
Yes.
It stinks. You know why?
Because of coal.
Yes. Horrible. That town has really bad issues of pollution due to that, and it has caused a lot of health problems in surrounding areas. Cancer is one of them.
Yes.
Lung cancer for people who don't even smoke.
But I don't think it's the answer.
The answer, okay, maybe not the answer, we're not there yet. We're just, getting to why it's so well used.
Because people want a cleaner source than coal, and they find it easier to continually put out energy.
It's a way to continually make energy. Because obviously in this world we need energy at all times, don't we?
Apparently.
Runs everything.
We're using it right now.
We're using energy, yeah, we're using energy right now. But okay, what is your opinion on the carbon imprint of the nuclear waste then?
I don't know, I mean, you have the whole side where it doesn't produce the smog as much out of the towers when they're burning the coal, but you have to keep and store the radioactive material. You have to keep it. Is that not a problem? It's something dangerous, and it has to be contained and kept. If you have to keep building up something and storing it somewhere, just like a waste dump, it's going to build up.
Oh.
And then what happens if a natural disaster comes through and busts open all those containers that they have contained it in?
Well, even in the 80s with Chernobyl, it was more of an accident that happened there.
I know, but I mean,
But-
we can't prepare for all accidents.
That accident caused the whole city to be done because of nuclear waste
There was a recent case, what was it, in New Mexico
last year.
last year, and they were trying to find a place to store the radioactive material.
They did. They found it. They found a place in Andrew County, Texas, neighboring state. Actually, the nuclear plant would not leave much of a carbon imprint. Nothing happened to it.
So if nothing happens to a nuclear plant, it's okay.
But unfortunately, the world has natural disasters. It does that.
We have unexpected changes.
The world changes.
So how do you contain something that needs constant containing in the middle of a natural disaster, which is exactly what happened there in Japan.
Mhm.
It's exactly what happened in Japan. They didn't have the means, I guess, to back it up. I mean, they had backup systems, but they failed. And now we have radiation leaking in the water and in the air. And what can they do? It's a several, probably decade process of getting that cleaned up.
It's decades to clean radiation.
And they're never going to get it out of the water. And they're never fully going to get it out of the air.
Chernobyl, though, animals are starting to move back to the town, the abandoned city. Why do you think this is?
It's been years.
30 years?
30 years. So
Almost.
I'm sure the ground absorbs it and it probably dissipates. The winds probably blow it around. And it's probably not all concentrated in one area anymore.
Yeah, but they take a Geiger meter out there and it still reads pretty high.
Yeah, but it's lower than it has been in the last 30 years, right?
I'm sure than when it first happened, when the reactor first exploded.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, after a while, it dissipates. It's going to take years in the future still, but maybe the animals are sensing the lower amounts of radiation and they feel that they could live, or they are adapting to the radiation in the area.
But yeah, the scientists have went into Chernobyl finding the animals. A lot of them have small deformities.
Yeah, I think they'll probably just adapt to it.
Adapt.
So you've got it linking in Japan.
We got leaking in Japan, leaking in New Mexico. Okay, I'm going to discuss on the New Mexico thing. Does anybody actually know, back in February, the nuclear reactor in New Mexico started leaking radiation? Okay? And in March, the second one broke. And then they said, all the news said was the reactors broke, leaking radiation all the way into Oklahoma City. And then they moved the radiation, the nuclear waste, to some disclosed place in Texas. And that was all they discussed. I cannot find anything more on that subject. There was no article about that anywhere since March when they were moving the waste to Texas. Do you think they have it contained, or is it?
I don't know.
Still
Maybe
an
they just
issue.
don't want to talk about it.
There's a lot of things they don't want to talk about.
But see, what I don't understand is, yes, it is constant energy. Yes, it is cleaner than coal. Yes, it is perfectly fine when it's contained. But when you have something so dangerous that is so unstable when anything happens to it, and anything does happen all the time, and you have to continually store the radioactive materials and you have no way of getting rid of them, we're just keeping them for them to possibly be dangerous to us in the future. Why are we doing this when we have solar energy, we have wind energy, we have water energy? There's all these other different forms of energy we can use. And yes, I know the sun doesn't shine 24 hours, but you could harvest enough to hold you over for the night. If more people had solar on their houses personally, it would cut back the need for the big utility company to have to provide all of the energy from the solar power. And out here, I know a lot of our energy actually comes from solar power and wind power.
Yes, definitely.
Because it is in the desert, and it does not take as long to put up solar and wind energy than it does to make a plan and build a nuclear reactor.
A lot less work.
It takes years.
A lot less work for the wind.
And
especially wind
it
turbine.
takes an area, it takes the people coming to build it, it takes the carbon building it, it takes mining it.
No, wind turbines take quite a bit of energy to make them.
Not nearly as much.
Well, not nearly as much, but
And they put
the labor.
It's easier to put those up than build all of that for the nuclear.
You know how big those fans are?
Yes, I do.
Humongous.
But the spot that they hold, they may have a fan in the air, and they have to space them a lot, but the spot on the ground is minimal. It's not really going to interrupt desert life to
Like a
have a
tree.
bunch of, yes, it's like a big tree. A really big tree.
A big steel tree.
But it's not going to interrupt any wildlife to have those out there. And, you know, I've seen people make points before, and I've seen it, where you have these wind turbines, and all around the wind turbine is usable farmland. Try putting usable farmland around nuclear reactors. See how those crops turn out.
If you have like cattle, you might end up having a Brahmin.
I'm just saying, wind energy can be used, and all of the land around it is still usable. You don't have to have a containment area of, oh my goodness, if something explodes, this whole area is unusable. Oh, it's leaking into the ocean. Oh, this is happening. Well, maybe if we wouldn't have even started doing that. And somebody else also had a good point. I heard on one of the videos somebody make the point of terrorist attacks and accidents. They said, you know, when you're traveling with this, like, plutonium, you have to travel with it to get it there. Or travel with the toxic waste from New Mexico to Texas. They had to travel with it. So what if there was a pileup on the interstate? Now you have a spill everywhere. Now you have radiation everywhere. Oh, and now you have those trains carrying all that. There's a train wreck. Or, like somebody said, it also makes them vulnerable to terrorist attacks. Like, oh, there's a train full of plutonium. I could use that to build my bombs. Maybe I should take the train.
That is possible. All things to think about.
I don't think a terrorist is going to come take my solar panel.
Bash you over the head with it, maybe. That's about it. But okay, that's all the time we really got for this week. Really think about the subjects we talked about.
Let us know what you think.
Let us know.
Tell us your opinion. Comment below.
Subscribe to the channel. It's Dragan Media.
And we'll reply to you next week. Any comments or questions you have.
Well,
If you have a question, we don't know the question, we'll look it up, we'll find it. We'll find your questions for you.
we want to. Knowledge is power. We want to help everybody educate themselves.
We want to educate ourselves. We want to help you try to educate yourself. Let's learn together.
Knowledge is power. This is MTD signing off.
Moo.
See you next week.